Mahila, Putin is in the news all over the headlines right now, saying that he gave Iran information about American forces' locations and all sorts of intelligence about our weapons and how many troops there were and where we were going to attack. So I'm thinking that they're not going to attack Armenia. I don't think that Iran is going to attack Armenia. And I don't think they're going to attack Jordan or Turkey. So Turkey already got hit a little bit, but that was the initial lash out. So is Turkey going to be in the war? I don't think so. Because Armenia isn't, Georgia is not, and Jordan is not. So the thing that is a little alarming, though, is that they attacked the Mediterranean. So are they looking at Greece or in any of those Mediterranean countries? I mean, even with that, you could get involved, the Vatican, their army, and, all of Italy. Really, you could. You could get all of them involved. They've got a whole Vatican army of Jesuits ready to go. So it's like, what kind of Armageddon war does Trump want this to be? Is this kind of like not Europe? It's just, okay, we didn't send in ground troops, so now they're going to sporadically just shoot all these missiles at all these Islamic countries that aren't up to par with the Islamic Jihad, including Bahrain and United Arab Emirates. Like, Iran shot those missiles to those Arab countries, including Saudi Arabia. So really think this through. Like, they're making a statement that, okay, we're either not going to join together and be jihad, like they were saying, stand down by shooting those missiles. You got to think in the war sense. If they're attacking their own people, they're saying stand down. And they knew those missiles, it wouldn't cause that much damage. But they did it sporadically all over, including the Mediterranean and Turkey. So unless they want to get Europe involved, that's why I'm saying the Mediterranean, because if Greece gets involved, then Rome will get involved. And you don't want Rome involved, because then they can bring in the daughter of Babylon, the USA, and all of our allies, and because then it becomes like a traditional allies. So is this a traditional war? Is this a European, American, possibly Canadian American war? Or is Russia going to get involved now and say, no, we're going to side with Iran, and that'll mess up the oil for sure. For sure that would mess up the oil. Nothing else would. In my view, nothing else would, unless Russia gets involved. Because Russia can easily knock out Venezuela. You got to think ahead. If they knock out Venezuela, it's game over, because that's where we're getting our oil right now. You know, you go to a gas station, there's all these oil fields all over America, and we're not using any of them. They're digging up dinosaurs. So, but the thing is I think right now the saving piece is that Georgia, Armenia, and Turkey are not involved. If they can stay not involved, then I think the stands will not get involved, especially Pakistan, because if Pakistan gets involved, India will get involved. And then it would be that whole front. So China is doing a cultural revolution. They've got their people sent all over to do cultural missions. And a lot of China is in Africa right now. That's where they are. So Africa is not an issue. Egypt is not an issue. So you've got Egypt, where there's a lot of oil and water in Egypt. And you've got Morocco. They just got a new soccer coach. That was big news. Morocco did. This all ties together. And so what I'm saying is they're not involved, so that route to Italy is not affected. Now, the thing to remember in all this is that Iran is in between Afghanistan and Iraq. It's Iraq on the left and Afghanistan on the right. If you're looking at the map, eyes forward. Iran is in the middle. So if you're thinking about this logically, we have our troops that Biden, people were falling off the airplanes leaving. They were in Afghanistan and Iraq, and like Obama left all of the munitions there after we left under Obama. Then we left again under Biden. Now, we never really left, is the thing. We never really left. We've got our people there. Okay, so you'll hear people saying, like, this is just the same old stuff. And they're talking about the Kurds. Kurdistan. Kurdistan is not a country. That's a people's. Okay, the Kurds. And there's Al-Qaeda still. Al-Qaeda. There's Muslim Brotherhood, which is not as strong. They cut off heads of people. That's what Muslim Brotherhood does. Al-Qaeda is like Osama bin Laden. And then Hamas is what attacked Israel. And they're not really strong right now. Okay, because the UN forces beat them back. And the UN forces are involved in Ukraine and Russia right now. So whatever Putin does will be a determinant of that war and how he feels about the UN forces. The UN forces are mercenaries. That's what they are. Okay, so just remember, Iran is in the middle of Iraq and Afghanistan. So it would make sense that we take them too after what happened in September 2001 under Bush, that we went into Iraq. Whether you believe they were responsible or not, the whole war, including drones under Obama, was all from that. And really, Saudi Arabia is where those terrorists were from, on the planes that were hijacked. And Saudi Arabia got hit with the missiles by Iran. Listen, Iran hit Saudi Arabia. It was not the U.S. So whatever Iran is doing right now is very strategic to say either get ready for jihad worldwide, even the ones that are sleeper in Europe that all went to England, big push in England and big push in France under the yellow jackets, the yellow coats. And they're either going to say arm up now or we're not doing this. We're just going to fight them in the streets when America comes into the streets in Iran. So then you've got the mirror guys, the vibe that Y spirit in the mirror. And that's where all the witchcraft and UFOs, that's where you get all that stuff from. And they are shoulder to shoulder with the USA. When there's a war, they do a Munich safe house. That's what they do. And what happens is their bombs that they set, they have to get around as well. What they do is they have the country that is operating, they have them set all these bombs, roadside bombs, house bombs, and then when the U.S. gets there, then they bring in these other forces that are helping them from Syria. Syria is where they come from. Those are the translators. And they translate the civilians that aren't military, that are living there, like Iraq, Afghanistan, Iran. And they're the go-between between them and the USA military. And the ones who set all the bombs, they leave. They don't fight the war. They've got a few snipers that are mercenaries. And that's it. And you know where their mercenaries are from? Palestine. That's where those are from. Palestine. Keep faith. We'll see what happens. This is the update. It's all over the news about Russia. That they gave away our secrets. It's all over the news right now.